Hello and thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Jurnee Taylor and here are your headlines. The government is less than 2 days away from a shutdown. The impact will be felt across the country. More on what Congress members are doing to avoid it coming up. The state fair is approaching. Get ready for concerts, concession, and a curfew. Coming up, more on the new attendance policy. And a big weekend for UAPB's M4 band as they gear up for not one, but two big shows. More on this in 8 minutes. And it's finally Friday, and I know we are oh so happy about that here in the studio at THV 11.
Our favorite day of the week. Jurnee, I just wish we had some better weather. I wish it was going to feel like fall this weekend, and it's going to feel anything but like fall. Even here this afternoon, we've warmed up pretty quickly as expected, and we've got several more hours of warming to go. Temperatures right now in Little Rock at 85 degrees. We're sitting at 86 in Pine Bluff. Russellville warming up to 88 right now, getting close into those 90s, which is likely where we're going to end up later today. A high of 95 degrees is expected, and then we'll see a few afternoon clouds bubbling up. Low humidity today, which is going to make it feel a bit more tolerable out there, thankfully. Now, going into the weekend, it's going to get a little bit warmer. Before we get to the weekend, we've got some of those Friday night football games tonight. A kickoff at 7 o'clock, 86, maybe a bit warm, but by the time we're wrapping up the fourth quarter, we're going to be dropping into the 70s. Lots of clear skies this evening. You should be able to see a few of those stars. Here's what we're tracking in your 7-day forecast. Unfortunately, hot and dry weather is going to continue for the next few days. Our drought is worsening. It's not going to get any better until perhaps mid to late next week. Some relief? I think so. Increasing confidence that we're going to get a front to move through. Not only will it bring some cooler weather, but perhaps a little bit of much needed rainfall. The timing has changed. I'll show you the adjustments and when we expect it here coming up in a few moments.
All right, Scott, thank you. Well, new at noon, Washington, D.C., mourning the loss of a historic political figure this afternoon. U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein has died at the age of 90. The Democratic senator from California served longer than any woman in American history. Along the way, she took up wide-ranging causes, including LGBTQ rights, the environment, and gun laws. At age 89, Feinstein announced she would retire at the end of her term in 2024. She ended up working up until her death, participating in her last roll call on the Senate floor just yesterday morning. Now, the loss of Senator Feinstein comes less than 2 days ahead of a potential government shutdown. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says he will introduce a short-term spending bill to keep the government open. However, without enough votes, millions of Americans will soon feel the impact of a government shutdown. Nicole Skanga has more details.
Alice Silver can smile while she watches her kids play, but that grin fades when she thinks about what's looming.
Times are hard as it is, and a paycheck being missed is a big problem.
Silver's husband is one of more than 1 million members of the military who's facing the prospect of working without pay and potentially choosing between feeding their families or paying their bills. She had a message for members of Congress who will still be receiving paychecks during the shutdown.
Make a decision, get their stuff together and think about us real people who have real problems and real bills to pay.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy wants a short-term bill to keep the government open, but far-right members of his own party say they'll vote against it.
My stance isn't trying to shut the government down, it's trying to shut off the unlimited spending of the federal government's credit cards.
Those same GOP hardliners are threatening to vote McCarthy out as Speaker, even as he's moved more and more to the right over time to accommodate them, but to no avail.
Members say they only want to vote for individual bills, but they hold me up all summer and won't let me bring individual bills up. Then they say they won't vote for a stopgap measure that keeps government open. So I don't know, where do you go in that scenario? Have you ever seen that?
Hundreds of thousands of federal workers will be furloughed during a shutdown, and millions more, like TSA screeners, will have to work without pay.
People who don't get paid to come into work sometimes don't come into work, even if they're asked to. So getting through an airport could be hard, getting a passport could be hard.
The shutdown takes effect at 12:01 a.m. on Sunday morning. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Senate has passed its own version of a continuing resolution to keep the government open for 45 days. Little Rock police and U.S. Marshals are searching for a capital murder suspect considered to be armed and dangerous. 18-year-old Rayshawn Allen is wanted in connection to the death of Cornelius Johnson. Johnson was found shot at the UA Little Rock apartment complex on Coleman Place. Allen is also facing multiple other felony warrants. He's one of two suspects in Johnson's death, the other being 19-year-old Dante Blackman, who police already arrested and charged with capital murder. Now in a THV 11 update, homicide suspect Matthew Ferry is now behind bars. Ferry was wanted for a double shooting Monday night in Pine Bluff. He was arrested by the Rogers Police Department Thursday around noon. He's now charged with killing a woman at a home on Griderfield Ladd Road. Another victim remains in the hospital with gunshot wounds. And in a developing story, an Arkansas state senator calls for an audit into a big purchase by the governor's office earlier this year. Senator Jimmy Hickey Jr. requests the state's legislative audit office to investigate the purchase of a podium with a price tag of almost $19,000. It was revealed by blogger Matt Campbell, who discovered and published emails detailing what details on the purchase. The governor's spokesperson is responding saying, quote, "The governor welcomes the audit and encourages legislators to complete it without delay," end quote. Hickey also asked the committee to look into the governor's role in the new changes to the Freedom of Information Act passed earlier this month. That law restricts the release of the governor's travel and security records. Now, after a week of major changes, the city of Bryant now has a new interim mayor. The city council held a special meeting Thursday evening appointing Rhonda Sanders to serve in the temporary position. Last week, Alan Scott resigned from the position after receiving a vote of no confidence from the board. While Sanders lost the 2022 election to Scott, she says she does not plan to run for the position in the next election, which will be held in March. Well, the fall season is officially in full swing, bringing us closer to the Arkansas State Fair, exactly 2 weeks away. However, there are some new rules for underage participants. As a new initiative, after 6 p.m., the fair will no longer allow entry to anyone 18 or younger without someone who's at least 21. While this change could possibly affect revenue, fairground officials believe it is a necessary effort.
We want to keep people coming back year after year. You know, we've been here over 80 years, and you've got to adapt and evolve, and that's what we're going to do.
For more information on that change and other state fair updates, visit thv11.com. Well, if you're in the River Valley area tomorrow, Lake Dardanelle State Park celebrates its Centennial Day of Service, hosting a few events in Russellville. It kicks off with a park cleanup from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. There will be food provided, including hot dogs, chips, and drinks. For more information on joining that, you can contact the park. And later, the Polk County Office of Emergency Management offers an Emergency Preparedness Expo. Visitors are able to view their equipment and emergency service vehicles, as well as get tips to prepare for next year's solar eclipse. And it is a jam-packed weekend for the Marching Musical Machine of the Mid-South, also known as M4. The University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff's band is working on a big show for a crowd of thousands come this Sunday for the halftime show of the New Orleans Saints versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, if you have tickets for UAPB's regular scheduled game this Saturday against Southern University, you will still see M4 Saturday. Band director John Graham Jr. says the plan is to jump on a bus that Saturday night around 10 to 11 o'clock at night and head right into New Orleans. The band will get up early in the morning before that game at noon, and students say they are more than excited, and it's great exposure.
It's a big opportunity, you know, just something to add to the resume, just another experience to gain, you know, through traveling with the band as well.
The one time we did play with a big crowd, it was electric. You could feel the people around you, and that's what I'm excited about.
I think this is a big opportunity for our band to grow and just get more experience and just get our name out there. Like, we're known widely, but I feel like this is just another opportunity for us to grow.
Director Graham says, yes, they have 2 different shows they have put together for each game, so a lot of practice has been put into place for this big weekend. And he adds it was also simple. The officials with the Saints found M4 on the internet and gave them a call, and now they are headed to the Big Easy. Well, when in Rome, there's one popular way to roll through the ancient cobblestone streets. More on what many are calling Vespa fever after the break.
We're going to have to look into that. Gas prices are so high. Temperatures are too. It's going to be a hot day, even a hotter weekend, but I am tracking a much anticipated cold front. The latest on that and when we expect it to arrive coming up at 12:13.